Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing something a bit different. Now, I love Hello Neighbor. It is by far probably my favorite indie game of all time. And over the past few days, tinyBuild has been releasing trailers and announcements and updates about Hello Neighbor. Now, Hello Neighbor is currently on its 4th alpha build, and they have said that beta will be coming very, very soon. And on June 12th, 2017, they released a beta gameplay trailer. I'm recording this 2 days after. It is called the Hello Neighbor E3 beta gameplay trailer. Now, I've already watched it. It is pretty interesting. This is more of a story. This is more of a story trailer. So, I mean, I can't explain it all. You kind of have to watch it. So, let's play a clip, shall we? So yeah, that is the beta trailer that they released on June 12th. I'm recording this video on June 14th, and the reason I'm recording this video where I am right now, when I am right now, is because just a few minutes ago, tinyBuild released the Hello Neighbor E3 2017 trailer. Now this trailer is very less discreet and less detailed than the other trailer. However, it is arguably much bigger and much more game-changing. This trailer is only 43 seconds. The other trailer that they released on June 12th was about 3 minutes. So, you can definitely see a difference. I feel like the trailer that they have just released right now, the new trailer, is more of a teaser trailer. And the other trailer, the June 12th trailer, was more of the official trailer for beta. Or maybe for the whole game, I'm not sure. But I'm going to show the new trailer that they have just released right now. It is very, very interesting. Now, right now, I just kind of want to do a frame-by-frame of the first trailer that they have released. This, again, is a very interesting trailer. Not as interesting as the second one, but still very, very interesting. And, like, anything that Tiny Build releases about Hello Neighbor is something that's going to be huge with Hello Neighbor. They always are releasing something that changes everything about the game. With the theories, with the gameplay itself, everything is changed with every trailer and every announcement that they make. So, I have this on 0.75 speed, so it will be slow so I can kind of talk over it. Now that is the basement door, I believe. And here's the latest, I guess, secret that the Hello Neighbor community has found out. I cannot take credit for this in the slightest. I have just been watching videos on secrets and stuff, so I don't know. The reason I'm doing this video is just because I have a lot of theories about this with the new trailer and stuff, and I feel like if I just talk about it, I will get so much more of an understanding about it. So, yeah, that's why I'm doing this. It's not to tell you about it or do like create new theories or do whatever, because I am not the person for that. But I just want to talk out loud about this and state my thoughts on it. So this door right here, this is the latest secret that the Hello Neighbor community has found. This is what you were first greeted to in the current Alpha 4 Hello Neighbor. It is the first cutscene that you are shown with someone banging on the door, and then a letter slips in, and it is thought that that is a note saying you have to get out of the apartment for some unknown reason. Doesn't really matter. And then at the end, once you finish the game, you come back to this room and you leave. And this is that room. So here's a clip of here's the clip of the first cutscene that the Alpha 4 has. So yeah, sorry about that. That was my kind of cutscene in a cutscene. So sorry about that, but just in case you don't know anything. So yeah. So this is the same room, and we see a little bit more detail. It's from a different perspective. And that's all we've seen. That clip I've just shown you was all we've seen of this room until now. So yeah, you can kind of hear the knocking a little bit. Now, the knocking is definitely different between the two clips. The first clip was very brutal and, like, almost sounded like a hatchet breaking down the door. And I'm not sure if that was actually something, I don't know, I'm kind of engineering on. Now this is the basement door, I believe. Yeah. And now we're back here. And now this is the banging that you heard. And I want to talk about this. So, I believe in the... because people have found this room in the actual game. It's not just a cutscene. It is actually found underneath the house in the game. Spoiler, I don't know if you really care about that. I do. It is very interesting to me. So once you start the game, it does the clip scene and everything, and then once you get in the game, you can go into ghost mode and fly into the room underneath the house. And at first, once you start the game, that couch is not there. This couch, but once you complete the game, it shows the other clip, and then if you get back into the game, I believe there's the couch. So I'm not sure. I think it's a different room altogether. But this is new. This whole thing is new. With the guy waking up. This is us, by the way. This is the main character on the couch. So it is only presumed that he's being woken up by the banging on the door, which I guess is normal. I'm probably overanalyzing this way too much. So we're only 32 seconds into this trailer. I'm sorry if I just geek out and nerd out over every single little frame of this trailer, and this isn't even the biggest trailer in my opinion. So we're gonna get to that later, but let's continue. So obviously that is almost symmetrical to the opening cutscene at the beginning of Alpha 4. And I'm pretty sure it is supposed to be symmetrical. I'm pretty sure they used that cutscene because it was like the first... I can only assume that in the new beta or the full release of Hello Neighbor that this whole thing is going to be the first cutscene. And they used that little clip of the cutscene in Alpha 4 just to... because that was the only thing ready or something, I don't know. And maybe they added this recently, I'm not sure. But that is the same, I'm pretty sure, as the opening cutscene. With the note sliding in through it, and I'm pretty sure that's the same, but here we go. Now, if this game was in English, because the whole game and setting is set presumably in Russia, because no signs, no paper, nothing is in English in this game, and I'm pretty sure that is on purpose. Well, obviously that's on purpose because they will have fixed it by now if it was accidentally Russian, but they did that so one, they didn't have to waste time writing like a whole script on what everything says, and they could just kind of write down like, I don't know, the grocery list or something in Russian, because no one's gonna translate that. And this might be even a made-up language. I have no idea. I've never taken Russian, but if this game was in English, people would descript everything that's going on in a second. And because most likely, if this was in English, this would make a lot of sense, and it would most likely be a actual sentence and not just like a bunch of random letters. So if this game was in English, we would probably understand so much more of this game. Everything would be unveiled within a day. And they have put everything in Russian specifically for that reason, because they don't want you to just read out the whole script. They want you to figure it out on your own by finishing the game and unlocking the secrets. So I wish I could tell what that note was about, but we are pretty sure it is just a pretty much saying, hey, you need to get out of this apartment for X. I don't know why he needs to get out of the apartment. Maybe demolition or something. I have no idea. I do want to talk about this. It will be apparent in this trailer that if you know your Hello Neighbor, and if you've followed Hello Neighbor since Alpha 1, you will notice, I believe, in Alpha 2 that they had these instructions, like floating instructions, floating text, which were the instructions, like, around the tutorial area, like, around the house and stuff. And it looked exactly like this text up here. And so, it looks like they're bringing the instructions back. And they always flip-flop around with, like, how the style of the game is going to go with each trailer, which gets very frustrating because we know nothing wasn't canon, because everything was subject to change. And so now we can kind of get a good understanding of that the instructions, this style of instructions, will be in the final game, and that this is actually canon. So, it's very good to know that. So, I just got super excited that it was in here. These instructions, just for, I don't know, nostalgia's sake, even though it's only been, like, I don't know, maybe a year or something since Alpha 2, I'm not sure. But yeah. Now, this cutscene is at the end of Alpha 4. This is the cutscene that you get once you finish the basement. You get brought to this cutscene, and it's almost identical to this. I haven't been able to notice a difference at all. Besides maybe for like the scenery and stuff, and like the city and the couch and everything, but that's changed. But it's pretty much the same idea. You're getting ready to leave the house, looking at your apartment for one final time. Now this is very familiar to, I believe this was Alpha 3, I believe, where you're driving into town, and also Alpha 1, or pre-Alpha. Or I think Alpha 1 and Alpha 3, because, and Alpha 2, I guess. This is familiar with all the Alphas except for Alpha 4. Because Alpha 1 to 3 also has you driving into town. They all vary a little bit differently, and I think this is most similar to Alpha 2, which you'll see in a minute. But they all have you driving into town with around the same music, around the same layout, around the same point of view. So I just want to point that out, that like everything's coming back together again. Everything is getting kind of combined. All the alphas are getting combined into the final game, which I was really hoping for, because a lot of people were speculating that Alpha 4 was pretty much how the game was going to start, and that they were just kind of messing around and like figuring out layouts and styles in the previous alphas. But I'm really glad that they're combining all of the alphas together. I thought that was, I think that was the best way to go. And we still don't know exactly if it's going, I'm sure everything's, like, they're gonna add so much more and maybe subtract some stuff in the final release. But it seems from this trailer that everything is kind of getting combined together with this cutscene, with the cutscenes before this, that were in Alpha 4, and everything just seems to work pretty well. This is what I'm talking about with the reminiscent of Alpha 2. I'm pretty sure I used reminiscent right. This Alpha 2, I can show you the cutscene of Alpha 2. I can show you the beginning of Alpha 2 cutscene here. And let's compare it to this. Now that's kind of where the two, well actually, you walk into the house as well, alright? It's been a while since I've looked at Alpha 2, but this is just what I'm remembering, so, pretty much when you walk into the house here, that's pretty much where the similarities between this, opening cutscene and between the two cutscenes stop. Because obviously you saw in Alpha 2, you drive up with your car, everything's kind of boarded up, and then you walk in, and I believe that's it for Alpha 2, and then you fall asleep in Alpha 2, and then you wake up, in the yellow house, which is presumably your house, but maybe it's just like a base camp or something, I don't know, but that's the way that they're combining Alpha 2 into this, which, the theory of Alpha 2 was that, a very popular theory anyway, there's always many theories, but a very popular theory was that the neighbor's house is the house that you're moving into, but the neighbor steals it. And another theory is that you are the neighbor's son, or someone moving into the house before or after everything goes down in the main game. So, you move into the house after the neighbor's there, and after everything happens. Which I thought was pretty interesting, so it's like, you're going back to the house and remembering everything that happened. And that's where the game takes place, in your memory. Which I thought was very interesting, but anyway. Okay, so what I can only imagine there is when the door was opening, when the basement door was opening, we had a point of view from behind the door, and I can think that someone was peeking out behind the door because they noticed someone was in the house, and someone was peeking out through the door who was, like, trapped in the basement or something for so long, or didn't want to come out for fear or something, I don't know. But they were opening the door and peeking around and saw you, which is very creepy. I'm, like, looking behind my shoulder just to make sure no one's behind me. But, which is very creepy, in my opinion. Which is something that I kind of expect from Hello Neighbor at this point. Because there's so many theories about kidnapping and people trapped in the basement and satanic rituals and everything. So, I would like if that is what was happening and it wasn't just some point of view, some interesting point of view. But I'm not sure. We can continue with this. And obviously, that screaming also helps with the theory that someone's trapped in the basement, or doesn't want to get out, or is torturing, or it's tortured or something in the basement, so that just only helps with that theory. Alright, something I also just noticed, for the third time watching this is the third time I'm watching this, is that in the pre-alpha, the door was never locked at the beginning. When you started the game in the pre-alpha 1, and I'm pretty sure in all the pre-alphas, I'm not sure how many pre-alphas they had, it may have only been one, but in the pre-alpha, when you first started the game, the door was just wide open, and it wasn't locked or anything, and pretty much you went into the neighbor's house, and you opened the door, but then the neighbor got you, and you were back in your house, but then the door was boarded up and everything. And I've just noticed that in front of the door is a chair, and we can only assume that pretty much that first scene with when you walk into the house, the door is unlocked, it's open and everything. There's nothing stopping you from getting inside. And we can only assume that pretty much you get caught once you open the door. And then you're back in your house. And now, we can only assume this is your second attempt to try to get into the basement door. And now, there's a minor effort to keep you out. There's a chair blocking the door. Obviously, with Alpha 1, 2, and 3, and 4, automatically there are boards and locks and key cards and everything automatically, and there's no progression system. And Hello Neighbor pretty much got famous for having very, very good AI and knowing, like, where you broke into a window and the neighbor would fix it up the next time and make it extra secure, and then if you broke into the, with the, like, front door, he would board up the door next time. And it looks like he's doing that with the basement door again, which I'm really glad, because people have been complaining about how the Hello Neighbor has lost its charm with the neighbor's AI getting better and better each time you fail. And so it looks from just this tiny clip that the neighbor's AI is set to make the basement door harder and harder to get into each time you get caught, which I'm very glad for. So I literally just noticed that the third time I'm watching this, so I thought that was very nice. It's pretty much, from what I can guess from that last clip, that's pretty much just setting in motion what the main goal of the game is supposed to be. It's showing you unlocking the door and going into the basement, and that's for, like, let's say someone never knew about Hello Neighbor until they watched this trailer. That is just to show them what you're supposed to do and what the goal of this game is.